As for the teams, Aberdeen had Theo Schnelders back in goal. He missed the midweek draw with Celtic as he was on international duty with Holland and Tunisia, while for Rangers, skipper Richard Gough returned to the heart of the defence after missing out on last week's draw with Dundee at Dens Park. The referee was Jim McGilvray from Edinburgh, summariser Gordon McQueen, commentator Jerry McNee.
The 38th Premier League meeting between the clubs at Pittodrie gets underway amid Bedlam. A full house here. All 22,000 tickets sold days ago. On the record so far, Aberdeen have won 21. They've lost just 6 and 10 of the games have been drawn. But Aberdeen suffering a few reverses here in more recent years to Rangers, but still with a remarkable record. And out there this afternoon, the two leading scorers with 40 goals between them. Mark Hateley with 23 strikes so far, and Duncan Shearer with 17. So that would indicate we're getting a few goals this afternoon, hopefully. And it will be, no doubt, a fiercely competitive match. There's David Robertson getting a touch, back facing his old club this afternoon. And the ball going out of play for the throw-in to Aberdeen. Referee stepping in and awarding the free kick against Richard Gough. And Joe Miller to take it. Brian Irvin moves forward to the edge of the area. Alex McLeish has stayed back, sent in towards Irvin. Hateley's back there helping out in defence. Now it's Trevor Stephen to Gary Stevens, who is wearing a bandage over his left knee. He certainly had a problem this week. And Rangers were hoping that he can see out these 90 minutes. So Stephen Wright floating the ball forward. It's hooked away now by Mikhailichenko. Hateley's giving chase with Jury. Irvin's in there. Every ball being fought for here. This is Mikhailichenko, but well, a slack one. Breaks to Jury. Gary Stevens is in a bit of space on the right. Rangers can't block the ball towards him, and the roars from the Rangers fans tell the story of that. Here's a long one through now, and it's controlled by John Brown under a bit of pressure from Ian Jess. And while the offside flag has gone up the other end of the field, and it's a free kick to Aberdeen.
Good defending there by John Brown, Jerry, because he was left in a one against one situation. Ian Jess handled the situation very coolly indeed.
Right, floating it in. Away by Brown. This is Jury with her fin. Kane gets a touch. The midfield area congested, as you would imagine. And coming in very late there. And David Robertson in trouble with the referee. Extremely late challenge on Joe Miller. And the referee calling over the Rangers player. Miller still on the ground. John Brown being told to remove himself. This will be interesting. It was a very late challenge indeed.
Well, that's just a lunge, and deservedly went into the referee's book, and the Aberdeen bench very unhappy about that tackle.
Willie Miller, the Aberdeen manager, still smarting over having to travel twice to Celtic Park in the space of a few days, and getting out quite strongly in the match programme about the inconvenience to the supporters. McLeish clearing. Returned by Gary Stevens. Jury's in there with McLeish. Well, Rangers fans seem to think that there was a foul there by McLeish. Claims for handball now as Jury hit that one forward. Again, McLeish was involved. It's going to be a very difficult afternoon indeed for the referee and the linesman. Meanwhile, it's Ian Jess trying to pick his way through here. This is Kane trying a switch of play out towards Joe Miller. Mikhailichenko's there, high boot, play on says the referee. And it's Jury now giving chase, it's cleared by McLeish. This is Richardson, plays it through, the offside flag is up there. And Duncan Shearer straying into an offside position. So McLeish's header there. Still the ball's in play, it's Jury. Gary Stevens, Neil Murray, Trevor Stephen. Rich Goff. Looking for the head of Hitley. Well, claims that he was held there by Irvin. The referee, though, telling him to get on with it. Breaks on here for Aberdeen. It's Richardson to Shearer. Jess is racing forward through the middle. Miller's on the far side. Still it's Shearer. That takes a deflection. That's a good save by Maxwell. The ball coming off Gary Stevens. Shearer decided to go it alone. He had Jess in front of him. He had Miller to the right.
Yeah, the Rangers defence backing off there until it got to the situation that Shearer was only some 20 yards out. They tried to thump that one towards goal, but it took a deflection off Gary Stevens.
Hitley's in there. Breaks away though to Shearer. It's a rather wild one. He's still well in play though. Well controlled by Miller. It's Jess who's drifted out to the right. So it goes to Shearer. Miller's running in support. He's going to go himself again. And straight into the hands of Ali Maxwell. But you see the confidence of Shearer. He has, as I said earlier, 17 goals already this season. That's a couple of pots he's had. Looking around there to see if there was anyone in a better position, and he decided to test the goalkeeper. In steps Irvin. Runs into trouble, but the referee steps in and awards a free kick to Aberdeen. Miller was impeded there by Mikhailchenko. The referee let him play on, then he lashed out to Robertson. Some hefty challenges going in, and the Shearer teed that one up for Jess. He had it high and wide of target. It's certainly a hot kitchen out there this afternoon.
Yeah, Shearer just tried to chest that one down in Ian Jess's path, but he ballooned it way over the bar.
It's Kane getting his head to the ball. McCall steps in for Rangers. It's Aberdeen's throw. Shearer goes right through in the goalkeeper. And Maxwell responds. Well, Goff with the pass back there, he certainly gave it plenty. And on a bumpy pitch, I think the goalkeeper panicked a bit when he saw Shearer running at him.
Well, that's the best bit of skill we've seen in the game so far. Lovely bit of footwork by Ali Maxwell.
He certainly responded. And plays it across to Gary Stevens. And it's in and towards Hitley. Irvin's with him. Hitley gets the touch. Across comes Stephen Wright. And that's out of play.
They are firing a lot of high balls in Hitley's direction, but so far Brian Irvin and Alec McLeish have handled the aerial threat of Mark Hitley very well indeed.
Again, it will be the long throw from Robertson. And looking for Hitley. Trevor Stephen to Robertson. It's closed down by Joe Miller. And it goes to Brown. It's given away to Mikhailchenko. Brown racing through. Topples to the ground. The referee says no penalty. Well, you can tell by the expression in John Brown's face that he wasn't taking it too seriously himself.
I think it was just an accidental collision here, but I think there was certainly contact made between Irvin and Brown, and Irvin chased the referee afterwards to say that he felt like Brown was diving, but I didn't read it that way.
Here come Aberdeen. It's McKinney to Kane. Taking on Gary Stevens. First comes Goff to provide the cover against Brian Grant. This is McKinney to Jess. McKinney again. Ball swept away by McCall. A long one for Jury to chase. Irvin's there just in ahead of him and takes no chance. And defending by Brian Irvin. It's Gary Stevens with the throw for Rangers. Takes a return from Trevor Stephen. Stephen again. Trying to find an opening, playing it through. Mikhailichenko's there, and a fine save by Snelders. Well, the Dutchman thwarts the Ukrainian. It seems certain Mikhailichenko would score. Good play by Trevor Steven.
Yeah, terrific play with Trevor Steven, a terrific cross right over to the back post. Looks as if this is goal, hitting the back of the net, but that was a fabulous save with Theo Snelders.
We've now had a minute of injury time. Shearer tries to get forward. It's Richardson, but no problem there for Ali Maxwell in the Rangers goal. Richardson has 5 goals to his credit so far this season. But there goes the half-time whistle. A largely disappointing first half, but a tremendous save just before the interval. A half-time score at Pittodrie, Aberdeen 0, Rangers 0. That's Aberdeen who get the second half underway. No changes in the Don side, but Rangers have made a change. The Dutchman Peter Houstra has come on to replace Gordon Durie. Houstra with 5 goals this season. He's come off the bench a few times and scored important goals for Rangers. So this is Trevor Steven through for Mikhailichenko, who's popped up on the right. Plays it through, looking for Houstra. That ball appeared to come off the hand of the defender. Rose for a penalty. The referee, the waving play on. Come off Stephen Wright. Now it's Irvin. Breaks through in the direction of Joe Miller. John Brown comes across and concedes the throw-in. Firing that ball at Miller. This is Richardson. Well, almost finding an opening.
Yeah, good positive run here, Billy. Richardson comes inside, Peter Houstra then tries the shot, but it doesn't really trouble Ali Maxwell. But certainly a more positive start to the second half with both sides.
It's the Rangers fans just below us who are making all the noise at the moment. Peter Houstra seems to have taken a bit of a knock, but he's okay now to carry on. A high boot there by John Brown, and Ian Jess unhappy about that. The referee stepping in to calm things down. But Jess absolutely furious with Brown.
Yeah, it's all got a little bit messy here, a little tangle. John Brown, Ian Jess. The ball lands. And they start, John Brown raises his boot a little bit high, but it's when they're on the ground that they start tangling and rubbing heads together, and just need to wait and see what action Mr McGilvray, the referee, has a tough job today as it is, takes here against both players.
Another card now shown to John Brown. It's better to move out of there quickly. Jess being called over now. And another yellow card. That takes the total for the afternoon to 4. But you get the impression if anyone else steps out of line, the referee will be left with little choice but to make an example. Jess getting a touch. The overhead kick from Irvin. And a fine effort by the Aberdeen defender. Well, he scored 4 goals this season, 2 in the last 2 games, which have brought 3 valuable points to the Dons.
It was a great effort by Big Brian Irvin. He's more noted for his heading ability, but I mean, that was tried the scissor kick here and wasn't that far away either.
He certainly gets his fair share of goals for a defender.
Good effort.
Brown getting his head to the ball. It breaks out to Joe Miller though. It's played in towards Shearer. Shearer launching himself at that there, getting in just ahead of Goff. It looked as if the Rangers defence had it covered.
Yeah, it was a good cross in from the right from Joe Miller, and Shearer just gets in between Richard Goff and Gary Stevens here. But unfortunately for Shearer, that one just drifts over the crossbar. But certainly Aberdeen are beginning to apply a bit of pressure to this Rangers defence, which wasn't evident in the first half.
And Miller happy to accept the throw-in for Aberdeen. This is Jess. Switch of play to Miller. Good play by Miller, getting away from the full-back. And Jess coming close. Richard Goff doing enough to stop Jess. Well, the referee stepping in, and the warning, a free kick.
Yeah, it's a good bit of play there with Joe Miller. Terrific defending with Richard Goff to clear the header off of Ian Jess's head. And now we've got Aberdeen in a dangerous situation when you think of the aerial threat of Brian Irvine.
And Irvine is well forward. Heatley's with him. It's played out in that area. And it's Goff who has to concede the corner kick. And Aberdeen starting to make the presence felt, and Irvine, as Gordon was saying, carrying a huge threat at these set pieces. It's played into the near post area. McLeish gets a touch. It's away by McCall. It's Shearer, but a complete miss-hit by the striker.
He normally strikes these so well as Duncan Shearer, but this one bounces across the box. Stuart McCall just gets a toe to it, falls to Shearer, but he just slides as he goes to make connection with that one.
It's chested down by Heatley to Mikhailichenko. It's Heatley again. Murray. Challenge there by Kane and Heatley. The two players collide again. Really is a test this for the referee. Again, the two players getting involved.
It's here, Matt Haley controls the ball here, just nudges it away with his toe. Paul Kane's momentum carries him into Matt Haley, and Matt Haley, as you can see here, just obstructs Paul Kane, who's trying to jump over him.
This is Houstra looking for Robertson, but Miller steps in for Aberdeen. Now it's Grant. White comes off Houstra. It's Aberdeen's throw. Grant keeps possession for Aberdeen. It's McLeish. This is Jess playing it through, looking for Richardson. Good running by Richardson. The challenge going in there from Robertson. That was a good one. Now it's Heatley for Rangers. This is Houstra. Heatley. Trevor Stephen. Heatley again. Firing the ball right across the face of goal as the challenge came in from Stephen Wright.
Well, that whole attack started with David Robertson making a terrific tackle at Lee Richardson in the Rangers penalty area. Then a 1-2 by Stephen and Matt Haley, and he drilled that one over the crossbar. End-to-end stuff.
Aberdeen about to make a change. Scott Booth is coming on. Miller having a conference here on the touchline. And eventually it's Miller who goes off.
Yeah, well, a few times Joe Miller was getting on the ball. He was looking pretty dangerous, but he was suffering from a lack of service.
This is Mikhailichenko. So there'll be a real tussle now between Booth and Robertson, I would suspect. And here they are already. This Substitute against the fullback. Getting in the cross, the header there from Kane. And wide of target, but Aberdeen getting a bit of width now from Scott Booth.
Yeah, well, Scott Booth not closed down very well by David Robertson or Stuart McCall. They gave him time to put the cross in, and well, the header just drifts past the post. No real threat.
So Mikhailichenko for Rangers. Hateley's in there as well. High boot by McLeish. And the free kick given. It's quickly taken. It's Hateley onto the left foot. It comes off Irvine. This is Jess for Aberdeen. Getting away from Gary Stevens. Goff goes to meet him. Great play by Ian Jess! Well, stepping away initially from Gary Stevens, then from Richard Goff, and unleashing the shot.
He's so good at picking balls up in wide areas and coming inside like this. Comes inside Goff there, has a little look, tries the shot, a little bit past the post, but a good effort nevertheless.
Irvine keeps a close watch on it. Richardson climbs there above McCall. It's Brownlow for Rangers. Richardson has it back. Now it's Kane. Switch of play to McKinney. It's Trevor Stephen who steps in for Rangers now. Gary Stevens for Hateley. Laid off for Murray. Drives it through. It's picked up now by Mikhailichenko. He holds off the challenge well. Creates the opening now. This is Houstra. Still it's Houstra. And a fine save. Well, Dutchman thwarts Dutchman. Houstra getting away from Irvine. And Snelders again responding.
It was good play initially by Mikhailichenko, who found Houstra on the left. And he just walks round Brian Irvine here. Drives that one in.
Claiming the ball come off the Aberdeen player. The referee tell him to get on with it. It's Aberdeen's throw. It's played through by Irvine. The nerves are certainly jangling out there. And it's a free kick now against Richard Goff for his challenge on Patalainen. So the drama continuing right into injury time. No one wants to make a mistake, but plenty are being made. It's Shearer who takes a run at the ball. And McKimmie comes forward. This is Jess trying to get through. He wins the throw-in after the challenge by Gary Stevens. It's McKimmie with a long throw, looking for Irvine. Hateley's back there. In steps Ian Jess. The ball breaks away out now to Richardson. The pressure very much on Rangers. It's played through by Shearer, looking for Patalainen. It's headed away by Goff. Good defensive header there by Richard Goff. There goes the final whistle. A real battle here this afternoon. A hard-fought match. Probably, at the end of it all, the correct result. But I would imagine Walter Smith there, the happier manager. And Aberdeen still have to go to Ibrox later in the season. The final score at Pittodrie. Aberdeen 0, Rangers